Hello legends and super legends. Welcome to Veloharmony. Today I want to talk about riding in the heat. Let's face it, for most of northern Europe and the US, even probably Australia, I'm not sure what the temperature is at this time, but I know for a fact Malaysia and all those places, it's hot, okay? I'm here in Houston, which is the Gulf of Mexico, South Texas. And our temperature in the morning, our low, it's 80 Fahrenheit, which is about 26 C. And then our high now is 97 Fahrenheit, which is about 36 C. So that's the range, 26 to 36 C, 80 Fahrenheit to 97 Fahrenheit. So how do you cope with that? Well, there's a lot of little things that help you deal with it to where it's not too bad. I mean, you got to get out in it and get acclimated if you're going to ride in it. But the first thing I do, first of all, is I make sure that whenever possible, go out early in the morning if you can, especially on the weekends. Now we're leaving like around 7 in the morning. So it's like 82, 83 thereabouts. And we ride till about 11. So it's not at the highest temperature of the day at that time. So it might be about 90 when we're done, 90 Fahrenheit. But the way you want to deal with the heat, if you're going to ride in the heat, is first of all, you got to make sure you're hydrated on and off the bike. You got to drink a lot, even when you're off the bike. Don't go thirsty. When it's time to ride, you want to make sure you have enough of these. Let me see. I have another one here. There we go. So what I want to talk about is, it's time to retire the regular water bottles. These guys don't last, even if it's 15 minutes thereabouts, that's too much to expect from them. The liquids, the fluid, if you put water, whatever you put in here, it gets hot like that. I don't use these this time of year. In the winter, yeah. These are the guys, they're insulated. This one is made by Elite. It's got nano gel in it. They've got different kinds. I got some that are made by Camelback. I think I've got one in here. This is the Camelback I was talking about. It's insulated as well. This one I got a while back. I haven't really used it. It's brand new, but it's got the same similar technology. They hold about 500 milliliters of water, which is a standard, amount of water in most water bottles, which is cool. It's not too, I don't like them bulky. These are a little taller slightly, but they're not bad. They fit in the bottle cages really well. They don't bounce around or anything. But I carry 3 bottles because I found that I use 3 bottles every 2 hours. Just drinking comfortably, pouring water on myself, whatever I need to. And how I cope is I put ice, maybe almost halfway in the bottle. I put ice cubes in there. And then I put cold water on top of the ice cube. So that goes up to about an hour and a half with the ice being in there. But the water itself will hold its temperature that I've found well over 2 hours. Their marketing stuff said 4 hours. Yeah, about 4 hours. It's comfortably cool, but it's not cold. I like my water cold. So I put ice halfway, put water in there. So what I do is, my trick is I put water in the 2 bottles that look alike. I put those on the bike. And then I put ice in this bottle and put Gatorade or whatever electrolyte you're going to use. You put that in there. This goes in my jersey. Okay? Now, what I found is, as it's gotten hotter, I can't tolerate these on the ride. I just can't eat the solid foods. So I find that I'm using gels most of the time and when I need to. But a lot of times I just eat before I go when it's convenient. I'll eat something and then go. And then with the electrolyte, I'll be fine. But I find that I handle the electrolyte better than trying to eat solid food in the heat. Electrolyte or gels to top off my energy stores when I need to. So I always have gels with me when it's very hot. Sometimes I just put them in this bottle so I don't have to worry about, littering or throwing these out. I just put them in here and I keep this bottle with the gel in there. But that's the first defense against the heat. Make sure you have enough hydration. The reason I carry 3 is not just for drinking. I find that when I'm riding, perspiration has a tendency to get in my eye, and it's salty and sometimes it burns. So it's very refreshing periodically to take off my glasses and just spray the cold water on my face. Sometimes I spray the water on my leg or spray it on the back of my neck. That feels very refreshing. That's why I carried 3. Because even if I'm doing a 4-hour ride or whatever, at the 2-hour mark, it's going to be near a stop to refill. But I find that I'm better off having more water than electrolyte. So even if you have one of those electrolyte tablets, use that in one bottle and have the other bottles just have water. So that's the best advice I can give you. Now, as far as you getting ready with your apparel that you're going to wear, that's real critical. First thing I do is I wear thin. These are for summer. These socks are specifically for summer. They call them lightweight socks. Most of the manufacturers will specify that. You don't want to wear your thicker socks that you wore in the winter this time of year. You don't want to wear these. So that's the reason you want your lightweight socks. I wear them the same length. I don't like to wear those little socks that look like tennis players wear that you can't even see. I like the socks to come up on my leg, so, but these are very lightweight, very thin, and that's all you need. Now, that's regarding the socks. The other most critical thing that you need to pay attention to are your bib shorts that you wear, and of course your jersey. Using this for an example, if you notice, this jersey has some honeycomb material. Let me come over to the camera. See the honeycomb material go all the way to the back, honeycomb material. For some reason, having that honeycomb on the arm and on the side, the air just goes through. This jersey is nothing special. I got this a long time ago. It's made by Santini. It's just their standard jersey. Nothing special, but I find that I gravitate to this jersey very frequently when it gets hot. The air just goes through the jersey. It's very breathable. And you want to, wherever possible, make sure you have a full zip, because it's really nice to be able to just open that thing all the way if you have to and let the jersey flap when you're really hot. And definitely don't put on any base layer when it's in these temperatures. I don't bother. There's no point to it. It's just too hot. I know some people have said that the base layer does keep you cool. I haven't found that to be true in very high temperatures, like I'm talking about 80 degrees to 97. Anything above 80, I don't bother with base layers. If it were in the 70s, maybe. But this time of year, especially, it's not just the temperature, it's the humidity. It's very sticky, it's very thick, so it feels hotter. So you don't need a base layer. You want that air hitting your skin. I've worn this. This is one of the Spotty Wear jerseys. So even though it doesn't have a full zip, it zips far down enough, and the material that Spotty Wear has works really well in the heat. So Spotty Wear definitely is one of the jerseys that I wear when it's very hot. I've been wearing them. They work really well. The other jerseys that I wear, for example, is this. This is my Tom Simpson jersey, for the fact that it's ventilated and also the color. If you notice, all the jerseys I'm showing you got white as much as possible, the lighter colors to reflect. I know they got cold black technologies or whatever. I don't wear black jerseys in the summer. It's just too hot down here and you're out in that heat. This jersey is very ventilated. Even below the pockets, they have vents. And on the sides, they have vents. And all of that makes a difference. And of course, it's full zip. I wear that a lot. Light color. I also use the La Pasión jerseys that I got. And those of you who saw the reviews, that's the reason I got them. They got those honeycombs on the arm and on the sides. It lets that air hit you. And then it's full zip. Same thing on the back. Look at the back is all, you see all those little honeycombs. So the jerseys you choose. So this time of year, I move all my very lightweight jerseys to the front of my closet. So that's where they are. I'm not going to wear any wool jerseys or anything like that. Now, that's for jerseys. For your shorts, I took some examples to show you guys a regular short, 2 regular shorts, and 2 shorts for summer that I recommend. This is an ASSO short. You can see it's fairly ventilated. You see the little screen in the back there. I consider it to be a regular short. I still wear it sometimes. I mean, it's not that bad. But this is so much better. This one was made, this one is a Rafa. Rafa calls this lightweight short. I did a video on these. You see the hole in the back? Makes a big difference. And they designed it, they made the bib strap very minimal and got rid of material in the back. And the material itself is very lightweight lycra. So if you're trying to invest in shorts right now for the summer, you want to buy lightweight lycra. I wear these. These are made by Santini. You can see the hole in the back. They basically just kept it airy and very open. That's what you're going for. You want your lightweight stuff for the summer. Makes a big difference in your comfort. Anything that can get that wind moving through there, getting on your body to where you don't feel like you're overheating. So that's the short. Now, what I do is I carry the same stuff in my pockets, but because I'm carrying a third, as the French say, bidon, I put my patch kit on the right side. You can do right or left. I prefer to do the right because I like to reach for my food out of my left pocket. So I put my gel, and sometimes I'll stick my cell phone in this pocket as well. But I stick everything on this side that I'm going to be getting at during the ride, because the patch kit and stuff is only when if I have a flat, and I'll be stopping for that, so I don't worry about that. But I find that even though I'm right hand dominant, I mentioned in one of my older videos, I like to reach for stuff with my opposite hand, my non-dominant hand. It just feels more natural for me, you know. So with that, I mean, you can see. So I want to turn around so you can see now. That's another plus of this Spotty Wear jersey. Look at that. I know there's no water in there, but this bottle is held very tightly. That's why I like my jerseys to fit me really tight. That's the reason why I get them to be pretty much skin tight. And that's the reason why the racers get their jerseys skin tight. Like you see the guys in the Peloton when they're carrying bottles, they can stick them up here. They can put them all under there. If your jersey was too loose, that bottle would just go all the way down, you know. So, but you definitely do not want to skimp on not having an insulated bottle. These bottles don't do anything in the heat. And it's just, when you're working out hard in the heat, to drink tepid fluid, it doesn't go down very well. So I carry ice in the bottles, and almost before I have to stop, I still have ice in my bottles because these bottles work really well. So this is the time to break out the insulated bottles. Now, leaving early makes a big difference, but you still want to make sure you have the fluids you need. You don't want to skimp on that. Because if you haven't been out in the heat very long, it takes a while for you to get acclimated, and you definitely don't want to go without. I mean, it will hurt your performance if you go without fluids. When I'm riding in the heat, I don't really force myself to drink because it's so hot. You get thirsty more frequently than you do in the winter. Because, I've probably said that in other videos. We were all taught that, on the bike, you're supposed to drink before you're thirsty. But in the heat, you don't have to worry about that. You're going to be drinking. It's just so warm. But I find that most of the time I'm pouring water on myself. That's why I have 2 bottles of water. I pour water around my neck, the back of my neck. It just makes a big difference. It brings your core down, especially the fact that I have ice in there is very cold. Most of the time when I do wear gloves, they're very lightweight. But a lot of times if I'm riding solo, I don't bother wearing gloves. I just go bare hands. My bike, my tape is leather on all my bikes, so there's no slippage. If you have a very slippery tape, you have to be careful if you ride bare hands. I don't sweat when I ride bare hands, and it just feels more comfortable. Now, if I'm riding with the group, I wear my lightweight gloves. The lightest possible, the very thin, this one's made by Rafa, but they've got many manufacturers that make them. You want thin, lightweight gloves for that. So that's all I wanted to cover today, just to make sure that you're prepared to ride when it's very hot, because when it's humid like that, there's a tendency to not want to get out there. So make sure you have the right amount of fluids. Preferably you want to have insulated bottles, because it's so nice drinking out of, out of a bottle that keeps the water cold, especially an hour and a half into a ride. Have your lightest jerseys and your regular helmet. Don't wear a hat under the helmet. I'm just saying it because I've seen people do it. And the one other thing I want to stress is that some people are very sensitive to the sun. So you got to make sure that while you're wearing all these lightweight jerseys and stuff, that you wear sunblock. There are times when I wear sunblock. Yes, black people get burned too. I wear sunblock sometimes. Now I even have hand screens, not arm warmers. These are arm screens. And they're very lightweight. This one happens to be a Rafa brand I bought a while ago on sale. And some people are very sensitive to the sun. And there are times when, depending on where you are and your particular pigmentation, like some people easily get burned, or they have an issue just being out in a lot of sunlight. It can hurt their skin. These are not warm. So these probably like SPF 80 or something like that, the equivalent. So you can wear these. There are times when we have a lot of ozone days where the UV, they talk about caution about UV and whatever. And I'll put these on if I'm going to be out for a lot of hours on very long rides. They feel very cool on the skin. And they're nothing like arm warmers, very thin. I don't know what material they use, but the wind goes right through them, but they protect your skin from the sun. They're called arm screens. And this will allow you, those of you who are very sensitive to sunlight and have issues with your skin getting burned, or you have some people getting out in the sun can hurt their skin very easily if they have a lot of exposure. I wear these because sometimes I get to the point where if I have a burn or something and I don't want it to get worse while it's trying to get better, I'll put these on. That's why I got them, because I never got burned while I was growing up in Western Africa until I came over here to Texas to find out this place is actually hotter than where I grew up. I grew up on the coast, and because of the ocean breeze, it's a lot cooler than here. So it gets really hot here, and I think it's because of the part of the world we're in. During the summer, the days here are longer because supposedly from a scientific standpoint, the earth tilts towards the sun for this part of the world in the summer. That's why our days are longer. So it gets dark like 8:30, 8:45. Where I grew up, we're at the equator, so it gets dark at 6 and the sun comes up at 6 all year. Doesn't change. And they use Greenwich Mean Time there. So I just wanted to share this with you. Arm screens are very lightweight. It's almost like sunscreen, maybe SPF 80 or more, but this will protect your skin without making you uncomfortable. And I was a little skeptical when I got it until I actually took it out and rode in it. You wouldn't want to wear these in the winter on a very cold day because it's not going to keep you warm. It's designed to let the air get through this material. So very, very ingenious piece of material, technical wear I call it. So I just wanted to share this with those of you who are worried about being out in the sun. They're out there. You can go on Google, search for arm screens, and you should be able to get it. They're made by every major cycling manufacturer out there, garment manufacturer. So those of you who have other experiences or anything I may have missed, feel free to add it in the comments for other people, to help other people out. But the heat should not stop you from getting out there. You just need to get prepared for it. And make sure that you don't stay in AC all week and then jump out on the weekend in the heat for extended periods. You got to get acclimated. What I do sometimes if I'm in AC all the time on the drive home, when my car is moving, I put the windows down so I can get used to that heat. I talk about it sometimes, it maybe seem a little crazy, but you can't stay inside all week working and then come out in stifling heat. Your body has to get used to that. And if you find out you have not been in the heat frequently enough to acclimatize, that's when you do your easy rides. Don't go kill yourself when you're not comfortable out there. If it's too hot, your body's going to be fighting to stay cool. That's another reason I take all the bottles of water that I do. Because to get a good workout, you got to keep your temperature within its normal range, okay? So with that being said, make sure you get out there and don't let anything stop you.